Hi, Biscuit here. I have been itching to play HSR for quite a while now, and I finally got to playing it when I saw Robin's trailer. I ended up grinding around 8 to 10 hours each day for 2 weeks straight to the point where I almost finished the main storyline. And no, I do not recommend this to anyone. And yes, I did manage to get her eventually only after losing my 50-50 to Himeko. We don't talk about that. But now that I'm near the end of the story, these are what I can say about the game from the perspective of a Genshin player if you ever plan on playing the game.
What the fuck?
Gameplay wise, HSR isn't a game that requires you to spend hours on and just to have fun. It's the type of game you can just pick back up after leaving for a while, whether you're waiting for more content in your main game or you just have some free time to spare. However, the combat is more on the complicated side as you do have to worry about conserving skill points, using good rotations, not messing up your cycles, and all that. But if you're just a casual player who's taking their time progressing through the story, you can still slowly understand the combat as you go on. And even if you don't, you'll still be able to clear many fights by just oonga boongaing through. But to anyone who wants to just play for a few minutes during their breaks, then HSR is the game for you. Now, getting into the more itty bitty things. The movement in this game is nothing special. You can't really be expecting much from a turn-based game when it comes to movement, especially a Hoyoverse game. However, the ability to run without wasting any stamina is what I love about this game. After falling off mountains just before reaching the peak countless times in Genshin Impact, this is just heavenly. But not being able to jump is quite hard to get used to, but that's a me problem. Honestly, I was really shocked when I first played the game because I was expecting really limited exploration for some reason. But the maps were huge and there was a lot to explore and find throughout almost all of the areas. Some were small though, while some were headache inducing. The dream place. I won't spoil it, but it sucks. The puzzles also play a huge role in exploration too, as they are challenging and fun, but not that challenging to make you quit, and makes each region pop with variation. It makes it refreshing to have little things about exploration more different than the last areas, as each of the regions have different puzzles. Herta's ship has the tile puzzles, Jurilo 6 has the cog thingies, the Xianzhao has the birdies, which I despise, and the Rubik's cubes that look like Zhongli's alt,
I will have order!
as well as the tourney thingies. And last but not least, the clocky puzzles, which I love. All these make finding chests really exciting and made new regions feel fresh and new. Now the story. I only started playing this game to get Robin at first, but I slowly got attached to the characters and got hooked to the storyline, which is expected of a Hoyoverse game since their writing is usually pretty good. It's just nice to travel along with a team like the Astral Express. Maybe it's because I've been traveling with Paimon for too long, but having all these characters almost always with me instead of a companion that sounds like a rubber ducky makes me feel really comfy. Due to this reason, I've just grown more attached to them compared to the characters in Genshin Impact, and each of the characters' writing is really good. Since HSR has things like text, the character photo pinboard thingy, and the characters actually being in their residences who you can talk to even outside of quests, unlike another game, it just makes the world feel more lively.
I told ya I could fight.
On to the combat. Like I said in the beginning, the combat is more on the complicated side, but the more you play, the more you understand every ability and effect. It should be noted that the combat relies heavily on elemental weaknesses, which is solved by the reward system, but more on that later. When I first decided to play the game, I thought I would hate the combat system since I wasn't much of a fan of turn-based games, except for Pokemon. I ended up really liking the turn-based combat, maybe because of the variety of abilities characters have, which all have different systems and can be mismatched with various team compositions, which I really enjoyed. I especially like using this gambling addict. Perfect representation of the gacha community, as her ability isn't just boom shoot, but rather relies more on skill point conservation and gambling, which I enjoy. And I think this will change a lot of people's mind on turn-based combat, but don't take my word for it. Now, one thing this game shines in most is in its visuals. The character designs to be exact. They're just pleasing to look at, even the bright and vibrant characters like March 7th. She has bright pinks and blues, however they're used really well in a way that doesn't flashbang your eyes immediately upon viewing. On the contrary, there's Boothill, who has a much darker color scheme, but is still amazing. The animations are also top tier, the alts, the cutscenes, and even just normal conversations. I feel that in some games, most characters are really stiff having the same facial animations, but HSR is really expressive with its character models, which is a W. However, the mouth movement is questionable at times, especially when it's not a main quest. Now, one of the most important aspects of a gacha game is its rewards. You can't just have a gacha game that has amazing graphics and gameplay, but has a reward system of a McDonald's employee's salary. A gacha game really needs to be F2P friendly, and HSR indeed checks out. I was able to get 160 pulls for Robin in just 10 days, and I'm sure you guys would be able to do that too. There are still a lot of small events that I have yet to unlock, which will give me way more jade crystals in the future too. So there's a lot of rewards. But like I said earlier, it can be argued that since HSR really relies on elemental weaknesses, it is needed to have each element, and it can be even said that maybe the reward system isn't as good as people put it out to be. However, I'm pretty content with it. As long as I get my 5 stars, I'm a happy man. So, is HSR worth playing in 2024? Yes, most definitely. I feel that all games are worth trying out, but it is an amazing game with really good graphics, characters, storyline, and combat system. However, to the people who aren't a huge fan of turn-based games, you might dislike the game, but it is definitely worth a try. The game is honestly really F2P friendly, and for my mobile gamers, the game is optimized well, so you won't have to worry about performance issues unless you're using a Nokia brick phone, which if you do, I pray for you, man. Conclusions: W game, must try.